Close game, Penn State Rutgers. So Penn State was able to finally get a win after a two-game losing streak by beating Rutgers 35-6 in a game that was a slow start, but Penn State was able to use its talent advantage in the end and be able to come away with a pretty easy win. Overall, it wasn't a bad day, but some of the same issues were still there. Um, you know, they're going to be there for the year. Penn State has some flaws, but they're a talented football team and they're a good football team. But they got some issues that are there. They haven't been able to establish any kind of running game really all year. I mean, Barkley's a freak of nature and he's been able to get some yards. But if they didn't have anybody else, I think they might have a little bit of a harder time. Also, it doesn't help because the teams just key in on him so much. Because like if you ever notice, like most of the times that we fake with him and do play action, we get a completion. It's because we have people open because they're all accounting for Barkley. And that's the perfect time when you go to Gasicki. We do it sometimes, but it's when McShirley, gets the snap, fakes to Barkley, fake handoff, and then goes out to Gasicki because the linebackers account for Barkley to get the ball, and they take that step and they hesitate. And by the time they react to that, McSorley still has the ball. Gasicki's already passed him, so then it's always like a 15, 20-yard gain in an open field. And Gasicki's a good guy because it's a big target and it's a big player, big boy to bring down. Um, Barkley didn't have a great day early on. It wasn't great. It hasn't been great. Um, and Rutgers doesn't even have that really good of a run defense. But I mean, early on, it was lackadaisical start for everybody. I think that the kickoff mishap and the Rutgers field goal, and then they got another field goal, and it was like 6-0, and it's like, oh my god, like you could see Penn State was the better team, and we knew that going in. I mean, Penn State's a more talented team. They recruit better year in and year out, and they got better players, and they're a better team. But that doesn't always happen, and they were losing 6-0, and it's like, this is looking a little, and then Penn State was able to make some plays, get it up 14-6 by halftime, and then I think that play where Barkley had hurdled that guy and brought him down to the one, that was a big play because that put Penn State, that just kind of went from like, okay, we're playing okay, we're starting to get a little momentum to we got this game in the bag. It was 21-6. Rutgers really didn't do much at all during the day. I think they got 200 yards passing, but no, not 200 yards passing. No, 200 yards total. But they put together like one drive when Penn State had its backups in. I mean, they probably got like 130 yards, I think. Penn State got about 315, I think. So, not bad. Um, McSorley made some nice passes. Rutgers is a better team than they were last year, and they're not a bad team this year. They're not a good team now. Please, Rutgers is not a good team, but they're not a bad team. 35-6 is a decent performance. It's a decent performance. It's not a great performance, but it's a decent performance because Rutgers isn't that bad of a team. They're 4-8. They're 4-6. They're probably going to be 4-8. They can beat Indiana, then they'll get 5-7. But if they beat Eastern Michigan, which they should have, this team's getting a little bit better throughout the year. I think more confidence. They beat Illinois. They beat Maryland. They beat Purdue. They just can't really compete at the level that Penn State's at right now. But they're not bad, and they're getting better. Passing game's still atrocious. They had nothing today. Penn State's secondary was good, and they were locked down. But once Penn State finds a person that can pass, it's going to be the same thing. And a team that has a few receivers. Rutgers doesn't have great receivers. They don't got a good quarterback, so that's out. Running game's decent, but once Penn State keyed in on it, it was pretty much done. Their offense is probably bottom of the Big Ten, bottom tier. Defense is probably about average, I think. And that means on the lower end of average in the Big Ten, and I mean like bad to like average in the Big Ten. So they're probably like anywhere I'd say from like 8 to 14. So I'm gonna say 11. That's probably accurate. This team's not the worst team in the Big Ten, but they're certainly not an average team in the Big Ten. They're improving. Penn State They got to be able to develop more of a run. The O-line's got to be a little bit better. McSorley had a couple sacks today. It wasn't bad though. McSorley had a real good game, and Penn State. They got Nebraska. I think they can handle them and Maryland. It just depends if they will. But I mean, if they can go 10-2, maybe New Year's Six bowl won't be bad. USC lost. I mean, no, not USC. Mar- Washington lost. Washington lost, and um, um, Michigan State lost. So that would probably put them at a 12, and maybe a couple other things happen. This team might be around 10. So overall, decent day. 35-6 win. Gotta be happy with it. So Penn State's 8-2. Hopefully they may move into the top 10. Probably not, but right around there. So peace out, guys.